So I've gone back and I've been playing like old games that I haven't played. And some of the games that I've started to revisit or visit for the first time is Atari. So they just announced a new Atari system called the Atari 7800 Plus, and it plays the original like carts and the 5200 carts. So it plays like both carts for like the most popular Atari systems from what I gathered.
What's a cartridge?
A what?
Cartridge. Is that like something with Cardi B or?
Oh, I misspelled that. That's
And
the
I
thing
can't
you
read.
focused on. So, and like as I go back to like old Atari, the sound in that is, it's not good. It's actually like hard. It's alarming. It's not a good sound that comes from those games.
Well,
it's just not. It's harsh.
I mean, what
So
was it, 1970 something?
Something, yeah. So with this new Atari 7800 Plus or whatever it is, who is it for? Like what audience are they targeting here? That like yeah, like a lot of people when you talk about like old video games, like they will touch on the Atari, but most of like the good memories and the stuff like that come from the NES.
Well, let's put this in context. People who have nostalgia for Atari are probably getting close to 60.
Yeah, like proper nostalgia for the Atari. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like, oh my God, that was my first system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have so many memories playing Pitfall and Missile
Pong.
Command and
Pong.
Yeah, that and
Pong.
Joust and
Pong.
Yes, Pong.
I also think there's probably a market for it for people who like maybe weren't born when the Atari came out, but it was like passed down from an older sibling
So like
or something like that.
they just missed out on like that. But like the weird thing for me with who is this targeting is like if I'm in that like weird transition period from like Atari to NES where I got the Atari and then shortly after received the NES, I'm not going to go back to the Atari when I played the NES.
I don't think that people who would be in that category would have been in the like initial batch, like the upfront, like the day zero NES purchases. I feel like that they're getting that Atari because the family probably can't afford that kind of spending where it's like, you know, something comes out and they probably had it for a while. Honestly, I think anybody who was a kid in the 70s or 80s probably had exposure to Atari. Hopefully it didn't ruin it for them and they're still interested in seeing it because it wasn't great.
Yeah, like I went back and played. There was one game that was actually like pretty like there was a couple games that were like decent, but they're not games that I'm going to like sink time into. Like I played Missile Command and like that was fun. Like it was fun enough to where I was like, okay, like this is a game I could sit down and play for like 30 minutes or whatever. And then the other one I played was, oh god, I can't remember. It was like you're in like this circle portal and like you have like this C-shape ship and you have to like go around as stuff is coming up at you. God, I wish I could remember what it was called.
At this point,
that game it wasn't bad, but the sound chip and like the sounds that come out of those Atari games are so harsh. Like it's just like ugh.
Okay, so there's a couple things here that I'm concerned about, to say the least. One, Bentley Bears Crystal Quest.
Oh yeah, they're releasing new games too.
Yeah, so
yeah. I forgot about that.
this is basically Atari all over again with wireless controllers, HDMI
The
capabilities.
controller actually looked pretty sweet.
Dude, it's a joystick with 2 buttons.
Yeah, it was like a thing that you could hold in your hand rather than like hold it on your lap or suction cup it to something.
I mean, and like, so they're going to have the wireless joystick too with the
Yeah.
single button. That's another $35. The system alone is $130. So you might need to figure something out on their pricing with the controllers. But like the base controller that I'm looking at here, this thing.
That was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing can fuck right off. That is not ergonomic at all.
I don't think it's bad. Like the controller design, like I like that they made it like modern and retro at the same time.
Like, well, yes, but if you want retro, go get the old one.
I don't know if it can use the old ones or not. I didn't read that far.
No,
into
I
it.
can't because it's wireless. The old ones were wired.
It doesn't have controller ports on the system.
It doesn't even have. So that's the other piece that I'm saying is like a really, really like a huge miscue. All these companies out there are starting to put USB-C chargers on every frickin' thing.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Why would you do that?
That's like the universal. Like.
Yeah, at 5 volts.
Are you saying like to power the console?
Yes.
Oh. Well, it's all it is. It's not like a huge. It's probably just like a little emulation machine, basically.
Wall charging plug not included.
Really?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like,
well, all it is literally just a Raspberry Pi, basically. That's all it is. And then they
actually
made
it's not even a Pi. It's got a. I found the chip because that's what I was looking for. Was
yeah,
the
like
chip.
a USB will charge that thing or power that thing, no issue.
It's a 3128 sock, a rock chip.
Because that's what the Retron runs off of. It runs off a micro USB. That's how you power that thing.
Stop it.
I don't think it's bad. I mean,
Appliances should not have mobile device charging.
it's not appliance. that's a stretch. It's a thing that reads cartridges that projects them on the TV. It's not like it doesn't require power like the old systems did.
Projects it on what?
TV.
A what?
A television.
Oh, so not a mobile device. So basically you have to be static to play it. Micro USB and USB-C was meant for mobile applications like cameras, phones,
That's it. That's basically
laptops
what these things
even.
are now.
No, they aren't because a fucking TV is not mobile and you need a TV for it.
You're not powering a TV with a.
No, you're not. I'm
USB-C.
not saying you need it for the power consumption. I'm saying, like, you are far more likely to knock that bitch off of a table and just fucking ruin the damn thing with that little USB-C connector.
Well, literally, you can just charge. You can power it from your TV.
I mean, in certain cases you could,
That's
yeah.
what I do with that. It's powered from there.
Okay. 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 Okay, I see you on that.
Yeah, like it's convenient, and like everybody has USB-C. Every single person has USB-C.
Then maybe
somewhere in their
somebody
household.
should make a USB to outlet adapter. Oh, wait, that's right.
Of all the things to focus on, you're just like, how dare they power it with USB-C?
It's chintzy as fuck.
No, it's not. It's convenient.
Convenient that you have to go buy a fucking wall brick just to plug it in.
You have that at your house already. How do you charge your phone?
What the hell am I going to charge my phone with if I use my wall brick for my Atari? Don't even
You
sit
don't
there.
have. You're telling me you have one wall brick?
I do not have one wall brick. I have 2 wall bricks.
Mm-hmm.
One for my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and one that I can stick my tongue in every time I feel like I need to die.
I think the powering is fine.
I don't, but
well,
that's fine.
That's because you focus on the dumbest things sometimes.
So this, well, I don't think so. I guarantee you I am not the only one that thinks that something like this does not call for a USB-C application, especially not one where it's like, oh yeah, you can go get your own wall brick at Five Below. Fuck you, Atari. Come on, like just stop. Put it in there. Put it in the box. You guys could easily source it off Alibaba or, any of those online bulk order things.
Then you have to worry about liability.
Oh, because you could.
What if one burns up?
I would be more worried about liability about some dumbass trying to plug the damn USB-C charger into the wall.
Well, that's not their fault. They didn't give you a cable. You got the cable on your own.
No, they give you cable. They just don't give you the brick.
Now that doesn't make
See,
sense.
that changes something.
That's a little weird. But I think pretty much every TV has a USB port on it for some reason. So you can literally just charge it from your TV.
They do. A lot of times they're actually the same as the service port. But
yeah, so it's fine.
Oh, it does have DB9 controller ports.
Oh, so you can use like the old controllers and stuff.
Well, I don't know if that's the old controller, but
I would hope so.
Open source emulation software pro system.
Yeah, so like it basically does the same thing as like the Retrons and stuff. Is when you plug in the cartridge and you turn the system on, it's not playing the game from the cartridge. It's like ripping the ROM off of the cartridge and like convert some little magic that's going on in there.
Yeah, it reads it.
Yeah, and like it doesn't play it from the cartridge. It's like it rips it from the cartridge and it's not
all the it doesn't. It's not an active read.
Yeah.
It's like front read. The 7800 console takes its place among other 80s design icons like shoulder pads, crop tops, and aviator sunglasses. They're trying too hard, man. This one,
yeah.
This is purely a play on nostalgia. Bentley Bear, whoever came up with that should probably be fired. And they're saying it's two systems in one because it plays both.
Yeah, it plays I forget.
It's not
2400?
2600.
And then the 5200.
That's a very, very unique approach.
I think that is a really cool feature of that is the fact that you can, because I mean, if you go to any, like, you go to Marketplace.
Where are you going to find them?
Atari
on Marketplace?
Cartridges?
On Marketplace?
Atari cartridges?
Like working ones?
Yeah. You can, dude. I sold a because I bought an Atari because I wanted to try it out. Well, the Atari system didn't work, so I ended up finding somebody to buy the cartridges, basically just wholesale. He gave me like $50 for like 50 cartridges.
I mean,
they're dirt cheap. If you go into a game store and they have Atari cartridges, they are literally probably almost being like, just take them, please. Get them off of the shelf. We don't want them anymore. They're just taking up space.
Here's the problem, though. They're releasing something that essentially revives the old stuff. But in full context of this, for $130, they are probably manufacturing them for, I would say, somewhere in the $30 to $40 range per unit.
So the price range for that, I don't think is terrible for what it is.
I do.
The price range for it, I think, is like okay.
For double that, you can have a Nintendo Switch.
Well, yeah, but if you're just like a video game collector or you're into video games, if someone's like, "Hey, I have this system that can play these old cartridges, and there's new stuff coming out for it too."
Okay, but
here's this system for $130.
It's still
I'm not jumping to buy it, but I'm like, that's not awful.
It's
not the price that I would jump on it at, but
let's call this what it is. It's that Christmas present that the aunt that you hear from once a year gets you and thinks it's amazing, and you get it and you're like, well, shit. You're just like, okay, maybe we'll play.
She knows that you like video games, and you're like, thanks, Aunt Teresa.
Slightly better than socks.
At this point, I think socks are a pretty nice gift nowadays. Because those are the things that you don't want to buy for yourself. Like, every time I'm just like, great, I need underwear or socks.
I haven't needed underwear.
But
in
if
like
someone's
12
like,
years.
"Hey, I have this old video game, $20, it's yours," I'm like, "Yeah, give me it." Well, not really, but
The Atari, yeah. I mean, this is just a pitch. It's
I like the fact that they
a nostalgia
made it
bend.
able to read cartridges, because I think that makes it more like open to buy. Like,
How about we do this instead of making it able to read the damn cartridges? Just take all of those and put them on a hard drive inside of it, so you can pick whatever game you want to play from the old shit. And then you might be able to get $150 for it.
Somebody's gonna do that. People did that for all of the classic consoles.
Like you said, Raspberry Pi. If you know half
well, yeah,
a thing
but
about
people
computers,
have hacked and stuff the PlayStation Classic, the NES Classic, the Super NES Classic, the Sega Classic. They've done all of that.
okay.
But this is for like a nice nostalgia collector. Like, there's things that come out that give you that little nostalgia hit where you're just like, all right, and $130 isn't a hateful price for that little, like, okay, you got me.
I measure purchases in terms of time now. That is not worth it to me.
I mean, if it were something that played into my nostalgia a little more, I'd be like, well, maybe. I'm still not like jumping on it because it's something that I don't personally need or whatever. But and the same thing with like the classic systems. Like, I wasn't jumping on those because I don't really need those. But it's a price point where I'm like, if I wanted it, sure.
$50 would be a good price.
I think they should have put it at that really sweet spot of $99.99.
Still too much.
If you put it at that, like,
when did the
under $100,
when did the 2600 come out?
I don't even. You're asking the wrong guy for that.
Oh shit!
What?
That's not what I wanted.
Clear the history.
No, if anything happens to me and I die into a fire,
Someone will steal.
September 11th, 1977.
Hi, Christy. When? 1977?
Yep.
Okay. So
they should have made it $77. That's a fair
no, they
price
should have made
point.
it $911.77.
I think that's suicide at that point, but
No, but like, it's not for me. It's not for you. But I think like what they've done with it in terms of they made it to where it can read the cartridges if you'd like, which is awesome because those cartridges are literally, you can get them for like nothing. So you could like go out and like if you're an older guy who has like a younger kid and you're like, I want to show you something that I used to play.
Jesus.
And you went and you got this, thing, and then you went out to whatever and bought like a box of 100 games you found on Marketplace for like $20.
You might play 2.
It's fair, but it's a thing that you can sit down and like be like, oh, I remember this, and you can put it in, and you're like, this is garbage. Next one. And
now can I tell you about some?
It's a nice experience. It's fun.
Now can I tell you about some of my other memories from childhood?
Now let me tell you about Nam, boy.